Every time something hurts you, you have two options. Without the bad times, how would we learn to appreciate the good times? So why we can't let go of the pain or the situation? It's because of the meaning we give to the situation. Ladies, welcome back to my channel. I'm just gonna go right to it. The first step to turning your pain into greatness is accepting the pain. First of all, don't make yourself busy by numbing the feelings. Face the pain, look it right in the eye, and let it go through. That's the only way you can start healing. Every time something hurts you, you have two options. You can become wounded or you can become wise. So if you have hit rock bottom, want to know the good part? You can't go any lower. You can choose to suffer staying there longer than you need to, but there is no way down. The only way out is going up. I just want to share with you guys a story that I heard on a podcast this week. It's the story of Alex Cooper. If you don't know who she is, here she is. She was bullied growing up because she was very skinny, so she needed to use more than one pant so her leg would look bigger and then boys wouldn't make fun of her. What helped her during those times was creating content and owning her own voice. And she says that her podcast, Call Her Daddy, wouldn't exist if she hadn't gone through those traumas and pain. So this story really helped me focus on using my pain to turn into something good, and I hope it inspires you too. Don't try to control what you can't control. You need to focus on what you can do because unfair things will happen in our life. There's no way to predict it or stop it. But also know that whatever happens in your life, it's your responsibility to fix it, to learn from it, and take the action needed. And without the bad times, how would we learn to appreciate the good times? The second step to turning your pain into greatness is be aware of patterns and trauma. We are pattern learning machines, and although we might feel broken, actually we have a pattern of behavior or a pattern of thinking that is broken. We love our pattern because they are familiar, even if the pattern brings us pain. So try to understand a little bit more about the pain you are going through. You need to be aware of those patterns, and most of those patterns comes from childhood. They can be traumatic patterns, they cannot be traumatic, but we tend to stick to patterns. So why we can't let go of the pain or the situation? It's because of the meaning we give to the situation. For example, this is actually my experience. I went through a breakup and it broke me to pieces. But I started to work on myself and I saw my patterns and I understood them and I knew that I had abandonment wounds and I was afraid of being rejected. And because of those patterns, I attracted into my life women who I thought needed fixing. And if I could help fix them, they would never leave. And I tried to fix them, but that's not my job. And actually, they also left. And I also attracted women who were emotionally unavailable. And as they started to pull away, I worked even harder to keep them, but they still left. And those were my patterns, and the meaning I gave to the relationship made me suffer longer than I needed to. So use this opportunity to look inside and figure out what's the meaning you are giving to the situation, and if it is what it is, or are you trapped in the stories you created and that is keeping you stuck in that pain loop. Ask yourself, why does this hurt so much? What were my values that were harmed? And how can I unlock or change these patterns? So, the third step is stop people pleasing. When we are focused on ourselves, anything really can hurt us because we are so comfortable on our frame, comfortable doing what's really good for us, and we leave very little space for life's dramas. So when we have emotional traumas, bonding issues, attachment issues, that's when we tend to please everyone. So they won't abandon us, so they won't cheat or they won't leave. And we then do everything to be seen, to be loved, that we even accept being hurt. So we don't actually have to deal with those emotions again. So start focusing on your healing, your life, your journey, and whoever comes into your life can adjust to your boundaries. And that's really the healthiest way to go. Now, answer me this. Why do we people please? I think we tend to do that because we have fear of what people might think about who we really are. And you want to know why we people please? I think we tend to do that because we have fear of what might happen if people don't like us for who we really are. So you need to break that cycle and embrace your true self because no one is better at being you. So just break that cycle right now. Go do your thing and think about you, focus on you. No matter what happens, this will bring you even closer to your goals, your dreams, and everything you want to do in this life. The fourth step is stop being a victim. Bad stuff happens to good people. Life isn't always fair. Sometimes we might put ourselves in the victim position so we don't have to deal with the issues. It's easier to be the victim than owning the pain and doing something about it. Being a victim means that everybody owes you something and that you don't have to fix anything. So once you get by the first three steps, you will see that playing the victim or having a victim mentality will no longer serve you. And you might not even know that you're victimizing yourself. So be aware of what's going on. Start looking at things as happening for you and not to you. Keep in mind that everything can become a lesson. We might play the victim because we get validation, care, and love when we are feeling sad. Most of the time, we stay in that position because of the secondary gains. Understand that you can provide all these things for yourself and you won't need to beg for affection, for attention, and for love. So before I dig in the last step, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up so more people can watch it too. So the final and fifth step is be resilient. But what does it mean to be resilient? Resilience is the ability to become strong again after something bad happens. It's the capacity to adapt to negative change. It can be breakup, it can be death, it can be loss, whatever it is. But to be resilient, you need to persevere and push through the hard things. And it's on your own control how you can choose to act in different situations. And that is where you start to build your resilience. But if you have a hard time being more resilient, in this video, I share with you the steps to becoming more resilient. So go check that out.